Okay, Twitter cues. Now, some of them will be much more, because I do in my defence, I kind of just said, I think I said hairdresser or hairman or top hairman, but I should have said colourist. So I'm going to be very choosy on what we ask. So, best thing to look for in a hair mask?
I think an ingredient story that links to active ingredients that will actually be able to repair and restore your hair. The starting point for looking for a mask is really understanding what hair type you've got.
Okay.
So match your mask to the type of hair that you've got.
As opposed to the problem?
As opposed to... Well, I think
so if you're in the Isle of Death, and say it's me, and I've got breakage at the front, and it's kind of normal everywhere else and a bit dry at the ends, and I want a mask.
Well, you're going to start from the perspective is I've got curly, frizzy hair that's quite fine, and it's coloured, and it's breaking.
Go home and get over it.
Buy an everything mask would be mine.
Buy an everything mask! Okay, how can I get my hair to look glossy?
Regular shampooing and conditioning.
That was one of my most asked questions. How often should I wash my hair?
Well, here we go. I mean, if you were to go to a trichologist, a hair doctor, and I'm quite a big believer in this, there's a lot to be said for shampooing your hair every day.
I do.
It's not so much the shampooing and the conditioning that would ever damage your hair, but it's how you dry it.
Yeah.
So I'm a great believer in, I think clean hair is healthy hair, but I wouldn't advocate clean hair if it means you were going to blow dry or irons or tongs every day.
Got it. I don't feel quite so bad now. Okay, honest, I think so many. Okay, do heat protection products ever work, and if so, how?
They do work. Yeah, they work in a way that a facial serum would work. So they create a barrier between the outside layer of your hair, the cuticle, and whatever device you're going to use as a heat styling tool. I'm a big believer in them. They do work. I think on some blondes they can weigh your hair down a little bit.
Okay. What style is best for extremely thick, coarse hair?
Good question. I mean, I think it's more about your face shape and how much maintenance you want to put into.
It's always about the maintenance, isn't it? It's the first thing I say when people say, do you know, you should get a fringe? I'm like, well, how much time have you got?
Blow dry it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, thick hair is generally, I mean, I'm really generalising, but it's better either really short or a bit longer. Because at least if it's longer, you can wear it up or tie it up.
And kink it.
Yeah.
And if it's in the middle, it kind of springs, doesn't it?
Middle means you're pulling it, generally. You're trying to straighten it a bit if it jumps up. So it's either this length or short.
There's your answer. Is there an order in which to layer styling products? Now, I should know that. I mean, I need to know this. I don't know this. Heat protection, salt spray, anti-frizz, and is there a limit to how many products you should layer?
I think you get the result that you want to get in whatever way you want to get. I mean, 10 products, 2 products, 1 product, nobody's counting.
Okay.
I would just say that I would start always with a product that is going to help you define the style and layer the lighter products up from that perspective.
Okay, so literally like skincare, lighter first, heavier at the end. Okay, how often should you cut your hair to keep it healthy and let it grow? Because, you know, I'm that cliche woman who goes, I don't take too much, and they're like, well, you're going to have to cut it.
But I think you're a good example because you know if you cut your hair a little bit often, it grows longer.
And why is that? Is it just maintenance?
Well, not really. It's just about, especially on fine hair, it's not going to split and break, and it's not going to get to the point where the ends are so ratty where you've got to take an inch off.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in once a month, once every 5 or 6 weeks, depending on the thickness of your hair, tiny little bit off, and hey presto, you should have long hair in 6 to 9 months.
There you go. I'm going to ask this question just in case you didn't see the other one. So how to hide grey hair as we get older and dark can be difficult. Grey grows too quickly. What would be the best way to go lighter, and how to find the right tone for you? It's all on Josh's website, which is linked below because we've just done a whole video on that, but I just wanted to address it because there's quite a few on colour, as you would expect. Having to wash my hair every other day as it gets so greasy, at the ends are quite dry. What do I do? Wash it and use a conditioner, I would say. But I
mean, as long as you are using a shampoo that is specific for hair that can get greasy, you're conditioning every time you shampoo. You only have to condition the middle ends and ends. I always think it's a good idea if you tend to find that the ends get frizzy to comb the conditioner through, because the slip of using a comb just helps to smooth the cuticle layer down.
My daughter
doesn't comb.
No, she does a tangle teaser in the shower every single time, and her hair is spectacular. That's just offensive that I didn't know that. Now you're going to love this. I wish we had a zoom in on your face. Is shampoo necessary?
It's a good question. There's a big school of thought that hair can clean itself. I don't buy into it.
Oh, thank God.
I think it's like saying, do I have to wash my face? I think we're living in a world where there's pollutants, where there's exhaust fumes, where there's dirt in the atmosphere. You need to wash your hair and you need to use shampoo.
Thank you. I always say to people who say similar things about not cleansing their face properly, just a similar analogy. Well, have you been on the tube today? Right, did you blow your nose? What colour was the dirt that came out of your nose? So, yeah, okay. Is there any way on this earth, I love it when people are dramatic, is there any way on this earth to stop my beautifully straightened hair looking frazzled after 10 minutes in the open air, and to stop my beautifully toned hair dropping out after 10 minutes indoors? Yeah, like nuke it with hairspray would be my answer, but I am not a hairdresser.
It depends what the hair texture is, but I'm guessing it may be fine textured,
mine.
so it does unfortunately not hold straight or curl very well. I mean, again, the more elasticity that you have in the hair, the more it will A, absorb heat, and B, that will then hopefully give you a bit more spring to hold
So that's
style.
why if your hair is kind of old and frazzled, your styles don't hold anyway, because there's no elasticity. Yeah.
The more you nurture the condition of your hair, and especially working on the levels of protein and moisture that are in the hair, the more your hair will feel supple and hydrated.
Yeah.
I mean, we've met at a moment where your hair was not in a particularly good.
Oh yeah, they know. No, I call it the Rod Stewart phase.
But like that there was nothing. It was like it was so hard for you to manage because there was no fibre left in your hair. So hair that isn't responding well to styling is generally because it needs to be thought of from a condition perspective before you start thinking about styling.
Got it. This is my favourite. Claire Steele. Again, it's been asked and answered, as they say in court, but how to grow out colour without looking effing awful. I do love a bit of Twitter action.
Who was that from?
Claire Steele.
Claire, I'm in Notting Hill, 5 days a week. No. Listen, it's not. There's no pain, no gain.
Quite.
So you can grow out colour. You can transform your colour. I mean, I'm a big believer, you haven't got one colour for life.
Oh, God, no.
Dial it up, have fun. That was one thing about the range when I was developing the range. People that had got into the habit of colouring their hair once every 4 to 6 weeks, it had almost become a utility.
Yeah.
They'd forgotten that it was a beauty. Like, it had stopped being a treat and a beauty regime. It had become like, I've got to do my roots.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I think, part of what I'm trying to do is bring that excitement and that element of trend or trying something different back into the utility of colouring grey hair.
Because it is a utility, but if you do it with fun. Okay, let's do a couple to end, because this is quite. So I'm over ombre. Is there anything else I can do to lighten my hair that looks natural and won't need me to get my roots redone all the time? I might be shooting for the stars on this one. Jessica Harris, I have your answer.
I think the reason that ombre or balayage has become the uptake has been so massive is because it's completely carefree. You can wear a darker root and a lighter end, and today it looks completely acceptable. The 90s, could you imagine having root? You needed your highlights.
Yeah, sliced.
So you could count them at the bus stop.
With cap.
There is no real.
Did you learn to colour on a cap?
Yeah. There is no real answer to that question, but there is a lot of things you can do while playing with an ombre. Like, you could have a pink hue. You could make the ends a bit lighter than the rest of it. I mean, at the minute I'm doing a lot of like face framing, so it's about having light around the face.
That's what I love. That's why I'm obsessed.
The balance isn't so much like dark root, light end. It's a bit more like light front, dark back.
Might be coming back to see you, Josh.
Go.
Okay, let's do like 2. How do you find your perfect hairstyle? Go to a hairdresser you trust via word of mouth?
Well, I think go and see have a few consultations. A lot of it's about personality, Caroline. It's not about. I mean, I work all over the world, and I work with really skilled people. It's not about finding somebody that's got that kind of golden touch. A lot of it is about communication and about finding a person that gets you and understands the way you want to look. I mean, I generally, if I don't really do many new clients, but when I do, we work on a Pinterest board. So we go all the way from what they hate to what they love. And with colour, talking descriptively about colour. I mean, one man's vanilla, one woman's vanilla is another woman's banana.
Yeah.
So show people what you want. Take pictures in. Say, this is the thing. Does it suit my skin tone? Drill down for the information that you need, rather than just thinking, I've got to find the god of hair that can do it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them. But for me, it's much more about a really thorough consultation and trying to glean information from the person that's going to cut or colour your hair, that are they on the same page as you?
There you go. Now, this was one of the very first ones asked, and it was the most liked, and it made me crack up in the office. But it said, I haven't got the exact wording because there's loads of you now, but it literally said, do you ever get tired of people asking you if you've got any plans for the weekend?
Well, I've not
for the weekend?
Not worked on the weekends for a long time.
Where are you going on holidays this year?
Exactly, I've just come back. You know what?
What's your most asked question in the chair?
Oh, God. I mean, don't. I mean, there isn't the one. I mean, I've got a very mixed bag of people. I mean, I guess for me, part of the reason I love the industry is because I love a good chat.
Yeah.
And I've made some incredible friends from people that have been my clients. And I love that social, I love the community. Does some of it get repetitive? I guess it does. But then who isn't in a relationship that gets repetitive?
Yeah.
So I welcome any question, even
The chat.
where I went on holiday.
Well, where did you go on holiday?
I went to India.
Was it nice?
Very nice.
And what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to New York.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Work.
Yeah, but still, it's like, you're not going to Bognor, are you? No offence, Bognor. It's the first thing that came to my head. It was alphabetical.
It could be
Don't judge me. Barnsley, okay.
No, I mean, I'm very grateful and I'm very privileged, but I'd prefer to be walking the dog in the park.
Yeah, but equally, I think the other thing to stress, as we were saying earlier, about the difference in certain generations, you are where you are because you've worked your arse off for 30 years. Hello. You stood on your arse for 30 years.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for
you.
joining
I really
me, and
appreciate
well
it.
done. And
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited for you. And go and have a look in the Isle of Death and go, look, it's not deathly anymore.
It's lively.